All right. Hello, my silly beans. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kayla, and I have the group on Facebook called My Kind of People, and I'm just making a few videos to help my people out here. And today we're going to start with liquid culture because I feel like that's the easiest. So what you're going to need for this is either or Karo or light corn syrup, honey, which you can use one or the other. You don't have to use both. I use both, but it's not necessary. You're going to need marbles or a magnetic stir bar. And this is the only thing that I use purified water for. So, but honestly, faucet water's fine. It doesn't matter. You're going to be sterilizing it anyways. And you're going to need your jars, and you can do the lid upside down with unmodified jars, but with liquid culture, it's best to at least have an injection port. So these are modified jars that I made myself. I made this injection port with gasket maker, I think it is. It's for cars, but it's really cheap. I can make a video on that if you guys want, but these are modified lids. Technically, you can do it just with the lid upside down, unmodified, but you want to be able to stick syringes in and out, so it's not ideal to open your jar for that. So, anyways, and then also you'll either need a pot to steam this on the stove, or an instant pot, or a pressure cooker. So, but there are lots of methods to get it sterilized. So what we're going to start with is, this is 600 milliliters of the purified water, and I just use a pint mason jar to to measure out the amount that I want. And you want 5% sugar. So for my 600 milliliters, that's going to be about 30 milliliters of either Karo or honey, which I use a mixture. I use 15 mLs of honey and 15 mLs of Karo. And I don't know if you guys know, but when you're dealing with milliliters, that's my dishwasher. But when you're dealing with milliliters, the medicine cups that come with like medicine or like milk of magnesia, honestly, they're bigger. That's what this came from. But they go by mLs, so it makes it really easy. So again, 600 milliliters of purified water, and I'm going to go in with this 30 milliliters of half Karo, half honey, and we will be right back. Okay, now you want to give this a good mix and make sure that everything is mixed into the water. Like, you might see a little bit of it floating around still, but you want to get most of it mixed in there really well. And we have our 2 marbles in the bottom, and that will just help to help us break up the cloud of mycelium once it does start to colonize. So we have our 600 mLs of purified water, and then we have our 30 mLs of honey and Karo, our 2 marbles. And now what we need to do is do our gas exchange on our modified lid. I like to make sure there's nothing on the rim here. There's that. And you don't have to be sterile at this point because, I mean, you still have to sterilize it. So for the gas exchange, you can either use micro pour tape, which is what I used to use. It's medical tape, but you have to make sure you get the, it's called like paper tape. So you want to make sure that you get the micro pour kind. because they have a bunch of different kinds of medical tape. Or you can use polyfill, stuff that goes in like pillows, which is what I am transitioning to. So you just want to get some of that, and actually for liquid cultures, I don't know, I might stick with this because I don't want that cotton hanging down into where the liquid is. So you want to do 2 layers of the micropore tape if you do use the micropore tape for your filters. So we're going to go 1 and 2 layers. Just right over the hole. You can also buy injection ports and filters. So you just have to poke the hole in the lid and then basically just pop them in. But you guys know me. If I can do it without buying something, I'm going to do it. Alright, so we have our 2 layers of micropore tape. And now we just want to go ahead and move this into either, I'm going to show you all how to do it in the Instant Pot and on the stove. I don't have an actual pressure cooker, so there's that. But yeah, so we will be right back with that, and I'll show you guys both. Okay, so if you do it on the stove, this is how I do all of my sterilizing on the stove. You need a trivet or grate, whatever you want to call it, something to keep your jars off the bottom of the pot, and you just want to put enough water in to where it's like right above the grate, and then you will just set your jar right in there. I like to bring the water to a boil first before I put my jar in. But you also have to have a tight-fitting lid to keep the steam in. I actually don't even have a lid for this pot. I just use a plate, so it's really not that dire of a situation. But then you just bring the water up to a boil, place your jar in, and let it steam for, place your jar in, put the lid on, and then set a timer for 45 minutes. And after the 45 minutes, it's sterilized and ready to inoculate. And what else was I going to say? Oh, yes, aluminum foil. You want to put aluminum foil on top to make sure that water doesn't drip in. So there's that way, and we will move to the Instant Pot. Okay, so now for the Instant Pot. Instant Pot is basically the same setup. You want to put the grate in, and you want to put the water just right level with the grate. And I have the small version of the Instant Pot, so my bigger jars won't stand up straight in here. So most of the time I do my liquid cultures on the stove, but today I'm going to do it in here just because it takes 15 minutes less. So we have our aluminum foil on, and honestly, even if you have to lay it down on its side, just make sure to lay it with the injection port down, and it will be, the water level doesn't go up to the gas exchange hole, so it won't really leak or anything. But I still like to prop mine up, or you can use like a glass cup to prop it up, really anything, just some way to keep it like sideways. So there we are. We have everything in there. We've got our marbles, our 600 milliliters of water, 30 milliliters of Karo and honey, our foil. We've got our micropore tape covering our gas exchange, and we have our homemade injection port. So we are good to go, and we will run this for 30 minutes. So we just want to hit pressure cook. And make sure, if you are using an Instant Pot, turn off the keep warm no matter what you're doing. If you're doing jars, if you're doing liquid cultures, bags, anything, make sure you turn off the keep warm. So we're going to go down to 30 minutes. And the reason we don't run liquid culture as long as we run like our grain jars and stuff like that is because it, oh, and then you got to place your lid. First of all, the sugars will caramelize. They can't take as much heat as like popcorn or grains and all that stuff. And secondly, it doesn't need to be cleaned that much because it's just water and honey. So, but yeah, after that runs for 30 minutes, you pull it out, and I prefer to leave the foil on it until I'm ready to use it, but you can just store it to the side until you're ready to inoculate it, and there you go. Alright, so that is pretty much it for how to make your liquid culture, and I will make a video whenever I inoculate this one. So we'll have another like inoculating our liquid culture video. So that will be coming. But other than that, it's pretty simple. Pretty much the easiest part of the whole hobby. But I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you silly beans later. Bye.